Hello everyone. This is a recording for your lesson in phonetics entitled Weak Forms of Function Words. Introduction. Sentence stress depends on the nature of the words found in a sentence. That is to say, which part of speech the word belongs to. Linguists divide words into two categories, lexical words and function words. To identify sentence stress, we stress lexical words and we leave function words unstressed. Function words have two forms, strong, that is, full and reduced form, and weak, that is, weakened, reduced form. In fact, there are about 40 function words in English which are very frequently used. In 90% of the occurrences, function words appear in their weak form. However, they appear in their strong form in special contexts. So, what are the lexical words and what are the function words? So, lexical words are main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, nouns, demonstratives, that is, this, that, these, and those, interrogatives, we mean question words like why, where, what, why, when, and how. Negative contractions like don't, can't, weren't. Possessive pronouns like mine, yours, theirs, etc. Function words are auxiliary verbs, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns. Here we mean personal pronouns and relative pronouns. Possessive adjectives like my, your, her, our, and their, etc. And determiners or quantifiers like some, a few, etc. So, it is important to know that function words appear in their strong form in the following contexts. First, when spoken in isolation, it means when said the word or the function word when said alone, not in the context of a sentence or of a speech. Second, when it carries an emphatic, it means emphasis, when we put the emphasis on that function word, or contrastive stress, when we compare between or contrast two function words. Third, in final position or before a pause. Here we mean at the end of a sentence or a phrase. The lexical words that follow the emphatic or contrastive stress carry a secondary stress so as to make that function word prominent. Again, when we stress an emphatic or contrastive, or when we put a stress on the function word because it is stressed emphatically or contrastively, what comes after the lexical words, they should not keep the primary stress, so they are reduced to the secondary stress. Why? Because the emphasis has gone to the function word before them. We go to each part of speech in the function words. So we start with articles and conjunctions. They appear in their weak form in a neutral or normal context. It means when there is no emphasis, no contrast, etc. So as an example, in a neutral, normal context, John ate an apple and a pear. So here, the article an and a and the conjunction and, they all appear in their weak form. An becomes un, and becomes un, and the a article becomes a. So we say, John ate an apple and a pear. However, they appear in their strong form in special contexts. What are these special contexts? We start with the emphatic stress. Here, when we want, or the speaker wants to put an emphasis, to stress that particular word for particular meaning. So we have the sentence, John and Mary came. So normally and appears in its weak form, but because here the speaker is insisting that both came, John and Mary, so and will take will be stressed, and the emphatic stress appears with two marks of the primary stress, as you can notice. So John and it appears in its strong form. However, we notice here that the two lexical words which came after it, which is Mary and came, they have been reduced to a secondary stress, as mentioned earlier in the video. Another example of a special context where articles and conjunctions appear in their strong form in the contrastive stress. It means we contrast two function words. As an example, it was not just an event, it was the event of the year. So here we have contrasted and, we have contrasted an and the. They are both articles. And the. It means it was not just an event, it was the event of the year. Okay? So this is an example of a contrastive stress with articles. We move to prepositions. So prepositions are usually weak, but are used in the strong form in these special contexts. When it is a preposition, when preposition is contrastively or emphatically stressed, it means in this case, it is strong and stressed. Second, when the preposition is final, though remaining as stressed. So it is very important to know that prepositions, when they are final, they are strong, but they're not stressed. So strong, but not stressed. I'm talking about prepositions. The third case, prepositions are strong when they are strong when followed by a weak and stressed pronoun. Again, they are strong when followed by a weak and stressed pronoun. So even though they are in the middle of the sentence, but when after them we have a weak and stressed pronoun, we make them strong but not stressed. Later on in the video, we are going to see some examples. So we start an example of a weak form in a neutral or normal context of preposition. So I saw him at the bus station. I saw him at, so here we have the preposition at, and it is weak in a normal context at the bus station. Of course, here is the pronoun and the article here as well. They are weak, but because we are talking about prepositions, we focus on the preposition at. So this is a neutral context. Now we move to the strong form in special contexts. So strong form of prepositions when they appear in special contexts. So when we have contrastive stress, for example, not at London, in London. So here we contrast the preposition at and in. So not at London. We notice London will take a secondary because it comes after a contrastive stress. In London, the second London again with a secondary stress. When it comes in a final position, example, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? So here, at is a preposition, and it is in a final, at the end, final position. So it is strong, but not stressed. So you notice it is strong, at, not it, but it does not carry any stress mark. So it is not stressed, though it remains strong. if the preposition is followed by an unstressed pronoun, it is strong. For example, look at me, look at me. So here at is strong, but not stressed. Why in this context we have pronounced the preposition, though it is not final, though it is not a contrastive stress, and it is not an emphatic. Why here? Because it is followed by a weak unstressed pronoun, which is me. So we cannot pronounce both of them weak. We cannot say, look at me, look at me. So we say, look at me, look at me, or look at him, or look at him, look at him. Okay, so in this case, the preposition is strong because it is followed by unstressed or weak pronoun. We move to auxiliaries now. Auxiliaries are usually weak, but are used in the strong form in these contexts. So, one, when they carry an emphatic stress. So auxiliaries, when they carry an emphatic stress or when the speaker puts the emphasis on them, they are strong and stressed. Second, auxiliaries are strong when used in question tags. So they are strong and stressed. We are going to see some examples later. When used in the negative contracted form, negative contracted form, not the negative alone, but negative contracted form, it is strong and stressed as well. We are going to see some examples later. When final in the sentence, though and stressed. So here the only case where auxiliaries are strong but not stressed is when they are final. So we move to the examples. So auxiliaries, weak in a neutral or normal context. For example, how does he know? How does he know? So does here is weak because it's a neutral context or neutral sentence. Now we move to the strong form in the special context. So the first special context is the emphatic stress. So as an example, we say, but we were at school. We were at school. So were here, the auxiliary were is strong because we want to put the emphasis, to insist that we were at school. So here is strong and stressed. Auxiliaries are strong and stressed when they appear in question tags or negative contracted form. So, example, they were very happy. Went there. Weren't there. Sorry, they. So, they were very happy. Weren't they? So here, weren't or is strong and stressed. We move to the final case, which is final position. Final position. Here, as I told you earlier, this is the only case where it is not stressed, but it is strong. For example, you were late than we were. You were late than we were. Were is strong, but it is not stressed because it is final, an auxiliary which is final. We move to personal pronouns. Personal pronouns do not have a strong form when final and unstressed. So keep in mind, personal pronouns do not have a strong form when final and they are unstressed. They are used with the strong form only. So personal pronouns, they are used with the strong form only when they are stressed for contrast or emphasis. So only when it is contrastively or emphatically stressed, they are strong and stressed. Here we talk about, again, personal pronouns. So we move to the examples. We provide an example when it is weak in a neutral or normal context. I saw you at the bus stop. I saw you at the bus stop. So you here, it's weak. It becomes a yeah, yeah. It's not strong and it's not stressed because it is normal, neutral utterance. However, we move to the special context where it appears strong. So strong and stressed as well. We have just two contexts, emphatic and contrastive. So when we have emphatic stress, example, I want them to have it. I want them, I insist that I want them to have it. When we have contrastive stress, the personal pronoun as well is strong and stressed. So as an example, I asked you, not her. I asked you, not her. So I insist here, or contrast you and her. So again, for personal pronouns, they are strong and weak, strong and stressed only in emphatic and contrastive stress. We move to another process which is common in speech, which is the elision of consonant her in weak forms. So pronouns and auxiliary verbs with initial her or consonant her commonly lose the her when they occur unstressed within an utterance. So when we have a pronoun or an auxiliary starting with consonant her, they lose this her when they occur where unstressed within an utterance, inside an utterance. However, they keep the her when they are at the beginning of a sentence or when they are stressed for emphatic or contrastive stress. So again, when we keep the her, when they are at the beginning of the sentence or emphatic or contrastive stress. Usually affected by consonant her elision are, so what are the words which receive, let's say, this process? They are he, his, him, her, and who. And the auxiliaries had, has, and have, because they all start with the consonant her. So, initial position. We said in initial position or at the beginning of the sentence, they keep the her. For example, he gave me a present. He, here we cannot say he gave me. So we say he, we keep the consonant. He gave me a present. When those pronouns or auxiliary verbs will start with the her in a medial position, what will happen? They will lose the consonant her. For example, who told them the truth? So, him has lost the her because it is in a medial position. Again, stressed pronouns. For example, I said, he did. He did. Why here we keep the her of he? Because it is emphatic stress. Okay, so here it is an emphatic stress. We move to another process, which is called vowel reduction or shortening in weak forms. Vowel reduction, we reduce the vowel, or we shorten it, we make it short in weak forms. The long vowels, e, oo, and are usually shortened and relaxed when function words are unstressed. So we have the examples here. So, for example, the long e becomes e in function words. For example, instead of saying be, we say be, been, me, she, he, and we. The long oo becomes short oo. For example, do and you. And the long becomes a schwa or for example, in her, Instead of saying her, we say her. Also affected by vowel reduction are the definite article the. For example, the plus vowel. So the, it becomes short e when it is followed by vowel. So we say the, short e, because when it is followed by vowel, and the preposition to, for example, to with short u, when it is followed by a vowel. We have some examples here. We start with long e, which becomes short e. I'll be there. I'll be there. Be here becomes short e. Be. We don't say I'll be there. I'll be there. U, which becomes short u. Did you ask him? You. Did you ask him? You. Short. We don't say you. Which becomes schwa or e. For example, I found her yesterday. I found her yesterday. Okay, so here we have lost the her in a neutral, the pronoun in the middle. It lost the her, and again it is weakened from to a. And another example of the article, the definite article, the. So when it is the, when it is followed by a vowel, for example, she gave me the answer, and it is the preposition to, so it becomes u, short u, plus a vowel. They are, or they're going to Oxford, short u and followed by a vowel, to Oxford. Okay, so here we have finished the lesson. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments session. Thank you.